Okay, hello everybody. Yes, I know I look rough. So as an introduction to my video, I am Basil, Anak Beginda. Matrix number, if you really have to know, 77492. And then to Dr. Anissa, I hope you enjoy me reacting to this video for God knows how many times. So let's get to it. Let's review a hilarious politician quoted worst speech ever. So, video will commence now. So, okay.
And I am seeking our party's nomination for not apologize for my tone tonight. I have been a Republican in times good, and I have been a Republican in times bad. Opportunity we've been waiting for. The Stark County Treasurer's Office is a mess.
You're a mess.
It is in dire need of and now is the time to seize this opportunity with an aggressive campaign and an even more aggressive campaigner. I'm out swinging and end up winning. Drastic times require what? Drastic measures, yes. Who said that? Thank you. Drastic times require drastic
Why are you
measures.
so mean?
It always has been, and it always will be.
Did he just drag his speech for no reason?
If nominated tonight, Party Executive Committee, thank you.
Yeah. So, hello. It is a few days later since I reacted to the video. So, I'll be discussing with all of you on how I find the mistakes or what I found wrong was about that speech by that particular politician named Phil Davidson. So, we'll go next. So, choice of words. So, his choice of words is, I split it into three. The first one is vague choice of words. Second one is wrong choices of words. And then the third one was appropriate choices of words or sentences. So for the first one, vague choices of words. So John's bad. So he's really resents this person named John. We can assume that that person John is maybe an opposing opponent to his seat in the incoming election. So by saying John's bad, like how he should be detailing how is his opponent bad, but instead he just say John's bad as if he's like 5, like he's bad. So like you can do more though. You're like what, 30 years old, man, like girl. And then the second example, what I'm going to include in the vague choices of words is that Albert Einstein issues one of my most favorite quotes in the history of spoken word. So it would be more appropriate if it was spoken language compared to spoken word, since the phrase that he wanted to say was a phrase, it was a sentence, so it's not just one word. If Albert Einstein created a word, then it would have been like spoken word, but still spoken word doesn't sound so, it doesn't sound right. It should be like modern word or modern language will be more like it if it was a word, but since it was referring to a phrase, spoken word, no, not really. I would choose like maybe spoken language instead of spoken word. Second one is wrong choices of words. So it says here that I have been a Republican. It does good. Have you ever heard of it does good except if it's Malaysian English? So it does good. So okay, so he's referring that he is a Republican and he's doing good things for the United States. So do you say it does good to what? It doesn't say what. It just says it does good, and the next one will be like about Republican and all that. But it doesn't say like why is the Republicans good. So that is in 120. I forgot to mention the one above, but you can see for your own what I'm referring to in the video. And then aggressive campaign and a more aggressive campaigner. You can see in my reaction video that how I reacted to aggressive campaigner. Aggressive campaigner doesn't exist. I don't think that a person would use a campaigner to describe themselves, except for this particular guy. So there's something wrong there. Maybe you would say candidate compared to campaigner. So inappropriate choice of words. Oh my god, my nose is itchy. Inappropriate choice of words. Making the use of guns as an example. So this was very triggering, since guns usage in the United States is very terrible to say the least. So I wouldn't use, because it's a trigger effect. So it's something that you should not really say or comprehend when you make a speech. So for example, I'm coming both barrels, guns loaded. So like barrels referring to the barrels of the gun where you put the bullet in. So it's like, okay, you have the intention of shooting the Democrats down. Maybe it could be I forgot the word, but I mean, so it doesn't mean literally he's going to like hunt them down using a gun, but it's still it can be taken as an offense, and people can take you to court for it. So you can get sued for saying that I want to kill you like with a gun, like I have 2 guns, like I'm loaded up, so be careful of me. So that's not a healthy competition, if you ask me. So continuing to the next slide. So prosody. So we have rhythm and tone for this particular page. So rhythm and tone. So his rhythm is alternating. So there are times when it's on rhythm, like what he says is on rhythm, so it sounds nice to the ear when you hear it, but doesn't sound nice because of his tone, but you'll find out. So for example, knowledge is power. That is a very nice quote that he quoted there, so I have nothing to say about that one. But off rhythm. So for example, he is saying that politics is not touch football. Not everyone is familiar with football. So American football is like rugby to the rest of the world. I don't know why. It's just weird. So football to the rest of the world is like soccer to Americans. So yeah. So it's not a very useful sentence in his speech. So like politics is not like touch football. Why is that so? He did not explain why is it not like football. He just explains that winner takes it all. Why not just quote ABBA instead of football? I'm just saying. So the tone, he has a very aggressive tone. Like I'm associated with someone as aggressive in a way, but his tone is aggressive because he wants to show that he is angry at what the Democrats were doing, which is understandable. But in this particular speech, where he is talking to the political party itself, like Republicans, you don't have to be so aggressive sounding towards your own party if you were having a debate with the Democrats. Perhaps this can be taken into consideration when you are talking, but not too far to limit the offenses that you might have spoken out when you are debating. And a lot of unnecessary shouting was involved. So he was shouting like, he was shouting something like big mistakes or something. And he was shouting at the person who was responding to him. So like he was making like sort of a question. And he was shouting back. Yes, big blah blah blah. So it's like, is that necessary for you to shout that way? I don't think so. But since he decided that he was to shout, oh well. So next in the prosody aisle is pitch. alternating pitch. So he has high pitch and he has low pitch. His high pitch is so high that he loses his voice. So he clearly is not a singer. He doesn't know how to take it down. So he was very aggressive with his speech. So understandably that he is also speaking in high pitch because he wants his message to go through or something. So low pitch is when he was talking about something blunt, like very plain. He would use low pitch, which is nice, I guess. But what he's saying is also not relevant in a way. So in terms of what is relevant in the speech, is almost all high pitch. Stress. So the two that I stress here is what I hear that the sentences or words that he stressed. So for example, I have represented our party twice on the country ballot. So he wants to say that I have represented twice. I made research, he did not win. So, oh well, I guess. So he wants to make a statement that I'm experienced because he represented the party, Republicans, twice in that particular county. And the second one is that I will not apologize for my tongues tonight. So he's like saying that what he's saying that night, like when he was doing his speech, he will not apologize because he knows what he's talking about. So he wants to make a sort of illusion that he knows what he's talking about, so no one can question him afterwards, or he will not feel guilty afterwards. So it's a pros and cons when it comes to stress. And pacing. So he talks in fast pace and also slow pace. It's almost the same as rhythm, but not quite. Rhythm is just like rhythm flows nicely. So fast pace, slow pace is that how fast did he do his speech. So he did talk in fast pace, especially when he's angry and aggressive, you know that. And then slow pace is when he's more calm in a way, like when he is, for example, like not the example here, when he's introducing himself, the slow pace. When he's greeting the people in the room, slow pace. So body language. Now we get to body language. So I listed down three here. So there's erratic body language, there's aggressive body language, and there's irrelevant body language, because that's a thing apparently that he does in his speech. So in erratic body language, he is passing back and forth from the rostrum, because as you can see in the second one is he's constantly looking at the notes on the rostrum. So this denotes he doesn't have the confidence to really talk, because for example, pacing back and forth and then constantly looking back at the notes on the rostrum, he looks back at where he was born, like where he was raised, which is Minerva, somewhere, a village named Minerva. Even that he has to use like a note. So that denotes that he wasn't really confident in a way when he was talking, because he's afraid of what, like it might be delivered wrong or whatsoever. So aggressive body language. So as I said, he was pointing and shouting at the attendees as if they were his opponent. So I don't know much about politics, but I think that you're clearly not supposed to do like shouting as if you're angry at them, even though they are Republicans, which is the same party as him. And the third one is, and the last one, thank God, is irrelevant body language. So the movement which refers to key. So when he was talking about knowledge and he was pointing out the word tool, he was doing this. He was turning his wrist as if he's opening a door, like with a key. So I clearly think that he did not think of the word key when he's thinking about knowledge is key, which sounds better than knowledge is a tool, if you know what I mean. So the movement which refers to key when mentioning the word tool to demonstrate the knowledge is important. So it's irrelevant in a way, like why would you do this to mention a tool if you're referring to language? If it's key, then it makes more sense. Okay, knowledge is the key to everything, like key to every opportunity, to every door, etc. So that's all that I can find about his video. Actually, there's more, but I don't want to take so much time because it's like already like 13 minutes. what in the earth. So we'll jump to how I would have done his speech. Good evening and hello to the Stark County Republican Party Executive Committee. And I thank you all of you for giving me this chance to speak on behalf of the Republican Party. My name is Phil Davidson, and I'm seeking our party's nomination, which is this coming November, to become Stark County's treasurer. In terms of background, I come from a humble village of Minerva, and I have been serving there for 13 years as a council member. My background studies is that I have a bachelor's degree in sociology and history and a master's degree in public administration and communication. In the past years, I had represented the Republicans twice in Stark County. Once in the primary elections and the second in a general elections. I have always been a Republican and will always be, as the Democrats are doing such deep damages, especially to our county. And I will not side with a party that is doing deep damages such as the Democrats towards our own people. There is a quote I would like to share with all of you from Albert Einstein. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. And this is the opportunity we are waiting for. We Republicans are being oppressed by the Democrats, and this coming election is the chance we must make a difference for Stark County. A way we can achieve our goal for this coming election is to have a very aggressive campaign and a candidate that can do it all, not just for Stark County, but for the United States of America. And if I am nominated tonight, I will promise you, Stark County, I will do my best to my advantage to fight for this seat and win this coming election and prove to you, Stark County, that we can make a change for our people. Drastic times such as these requires drastic measures, and this is the time for us to fight for the people. We are sick of the Democrats having business talks, but no action taken. Now is this the time for the Republicans to snap their ties of the Democrats hold against the Treasurer's Office of Stark County. If nominated tonight, I would like to develop and expand our campaign for what I believe is going to be one of the greatest strengths in the Stark County Republican Party, which is its people. The people hold on the real power, and with them we can make a change. Hence, I humbly would ask for the Stark County Republican Party Executive Committee, and thank you all of you for giving me this chance to deliver my speech. Thank you.